Between Albuquerque's sluggish local economy, online shopping, and the popularity of big box stores, the city has more than its fair share of vacant stores, restaurants, and office buildings. Many of them are eyesores and magnets for crime. So a couple of years ago, the city created a program to tackle that problem. KRQE News 13 investigative reporter Ann Perrette looks into whether it's doing any good.
Living near a vacant building in Albuquerque,
we've had homeless encampments, we've had trash pickups, we've had open-air dumps.
Can lead to non-stop frustration. What was once a popular spot to eat on Gibson is now boarded up, fenced in, and growing all types of weeds through cracks in the pavement and sidewalk.
I mean, at some point, a nuisance becomes a danger, and this happens with any abandoned property.
The problem with Ryan Caius's nuisance neighbor is one the city runs into all too often.
We are going to begin holding property owners accountable for not keeping up their building and keeping it up to code throughout our city.
A promise made nearly 3.5 years ago. Mayor Tim Keller proclaiming he'd start attacking the long list of rundown, dangerous properties in Albuquerque. What started as a push to red tag more buildings in 2018 became the ADAPT program about a year later. A program that would go after the worst of the worst.
ADAPT is serious. Like, we're putting liens on your property and we're on the path to bulldozing it, but we're also telling you what to do to prevent that and to make it safer.
Run by the fire marshal, the abandoned and dilapidated abatement property team works to compel owners to fix up their buildings or tear them down. The task force, which includes lawyers, inspectors, and police, uses this score sheet, tallying up inspections, 311 complaints, 911 calls, and police responses to determine if a property should be targeted. Since it started in 2019, the city says ADAPT's reviewed 194 commercial properties, but couldn't tell us how many qualified for the program.
And then you have to document the actual related crime issues. And then you have to get a court to agree with you.
The ultimate goal, the mayor says, isn't always to demolish a property. That can be expensive.
Why don't you fix the lighting? Why don't you fix the electricity and the fire issues? And if they do that, you know, they sort of graduate into compliance and then out of the ADAPT program.
But the timeline of getting to that ADAPT graduation can last up to 5 years, which is why the city says it hasn't gotten to the point of tearing down a single building under the program.
The way the law works, if that owner starts making good changes, the process is paused. And so a lot of owners do game it a little bit. They'll put up a fence, or they'll clean up the property, or they'll make one change, and then they'll wait.
Because to be compliant and left alone, the property needs to be tidy and crime-free, a good neighbor. Those standards are laid out in an ordinance Pat Davis got his fellow city council members to pass about 6 years ago. Removing weeds, boarding up windows, and putting a fence around the perimeter are some of the improvements that can get the city to back off.
But we'll be there, and so after 6 months, we'll come right back at him again.
They've been successful, but again, we can do 2 or 3 of those a month. We need to do many, many more if we're going to catch up to the backlog.
A backlog Davis says has only gotten worse because of the pandemic.
Older families that built those buildings and small businesses had leased them out over time to the next generation of business owners, and those folks weren't able to operate during COVID, and a lot of them just walked away from their leases.
On top of that, the mayor says the people running ADAPT were prioritizing enforcement of the public health order until about 6 months ago. Councilor Davis says that led to fewer fines and less attention on the growing problem. Now working to catch up, the city says tracking down property owners can be a challenge. Some have been foreclosed upon.
Those national banks usually don't even know they own that property in Albuquerque, much less know how to take care of it.
Or the property owner doesn't live in New Mexico. That's what the mayor says delayed any movement with this strip mall at Wantabo in Central, where you saw he hammered home his promise in 2018. These vacant buildings still a source of problems for the city, with crews responding to a fire here just last week.
I mean, we want to have somebody use it. That's what we really want. But unless they actually voluntarily sell it to us or to someone else, we can't force them to do it.
So the city says they can only continue using the ordinance requiring owners to keep up their property.
If landlords aren't going to do it, we can step in and do it, but we need lots of money to do it. And that might mean less money for other cool ideas, but it might be a more urgent one right now.
The city's looking at boosting the ADAPT program's budget for everything from hiring more lawyers to buying more boards and fencing to secure abandoned buildings. They could also use a portion of that money to better track the scope of the problem. Right now, the city doesn't even have a master list of all the vacant commercial properties.
We don't know how many there are until people start calling us, and so as frustrating as that can be, to not get an answer right away, I promise you we get to see that data and we need it to do our job.
For people like Caius who have to deal with these places, that means more phone calls and more waiting.
When people come and see properties like this, abandoned, derelict, and then the trash and the weeds that come with it, we're going to have trouble getting other businesses in this part of town.
Ann Perret, KRQE investigates.
The city does occasionally bulldoze homes that have gotten so run down they pose a safety hazard. That is done under a separate program run by the Planning and Zoning Department. Those cases also take years to wind their way through the court system.